takeaways take home when they visit central Visayas. Now, for top destinations of the region, generally, central Visayas is well visited, probably because of Mactan International Airport. It is a direct connection to a lot of destinations also in the Philippines. Okay, but it's still Cebu that receives a huge chunk of visitors to the region. And then, of course, we have Bohol and a few going to Magete, diving, or cycling. Now, let's move to the top attractions. Let's go first with per province, starting with the province of Luzon. Let's watch this. Alright, so those are a run through of the top attractions of Bohol. Okay, let me video go there. Of course, topping the list is the famed Chocolate Hills of Bohol, which is a unique geologic formations of roughly 1,000 cone-shaped hills that changes its colors depending on the season. So you can view Chocolate Hills from the Chocolate Hills complex, where there's a viewing deck in there with a stunning 360-degree view of the cone-shaped hills. So, pag dry season, itong mga itong hills na to pag dry season, um, color earth, something brownish. At pagka wet season naman siya nagiging green. So, a trip to Bohol is not complete without seeing this iconic um, Chocolate Hills. Of course, another tourism jewel of the province of Bohol is Panglao. So if you are the type that loves the beach, islands, Bohol will not also disappoint. Now, there are white sand beaches, islands, and diving sites here, of course, particularly Panglao Island. Now, majority of the top hotels and resorts in Bohol are situated in Panglao. Okay. Another great island destination here is the Balikasag Island, which is considered as the best dive site in Bohol, decorated with wide sand beach, array of palm trees. There are beautiful coral reef and marine life that really makes this a destination best for snorkeling and diving. So, malapit lang naman to sa Aloha Beach in Panglao. It's just a roughly 30-minute boat ride depende um, sa sea. So that's Balikasag Island. Okay, Hinagdanan Cave, okay, is one of the best spots in Panglao aside from Aloha Beach. So this is a great spot for spelunking. However, it's quite narrow and steep yung entrance, and um, the good thing here, nevertheless, is that once you're inside the cave, so it's very amazing. There's this small hole in the ceiling of the cave that provides light below, so you can see a lot of stalactites and stalagmites. Apart, of course, from the clear small lake that can be found inside the cave system. Next is the Lobok River, of course, the one that gave birth to the popularity of river cruise in the Philippines. Lobok River, a place where you can dine your lunch in a something unique environment. Um, if yeah, if Laguna has this Pandin Lake, um, if Western Visayas has Palina Greenbelt, so for Bohol they have this Lobok River din naman, more popular than the others. So this is really a great way to enjoy the scenery of the river, enjoying group of musicians that play their songs. You can also sing with them when you're having your lunch. Okay, another popular spot here is the Bamboo Hanging Bridge. This is a well-known hanging bridge. It may be just a hanging bridge for that matter, but the one significant here is it is made of bamboo, woven bamboo straps that stretches to the flowing river. So for locals, they call it the Tigbao Hanging Bridge, but for tourists outside, just the Bamboo Hanging Bridge. This is in Sevilla. Of course, the most one of the most picturesque or photograph site rather in Bohol is the Bilar man-made forest. Okay, along the road going to the Chocolate Hills, this is a roughly 2 kilometer thick mahogany man-made forest. So as you approach the rainforest, it's kind of chilly and darker. There's this like a little eerie feeling because of the trees. It's like you're entering a Twilight Saga. Medyo creepy, but it's really beautiful. Bilar man-made forest. Then we have the Sandugo or the Blood Compact Shrine, or one of the most visited historical spot as well in Bohol. This is where the first treaty between the Spaniards and the Filipinos took place. So this is the friendship treaty between Miguel Lopez de Legazpi and the chieftain of Cebu before, or Bohol rather, si Dato Sikatunan. So this is a great work of art by the national artist Napoleon Abuela, Blood Compact Shrine. Of course, we have the Tarsier Sanctuary, or formerly the Philippine Tarsier and Wildlife Sanctuary, which is a natural habitat of tarsiers in Bohol. So they are the smallest primates, but they have big eyes. They are not the world's smallest monkey, as most people say, okay, because they are primates. This is a must visit when you are also in Bohol. Now, Bohol is dotted also with very nice and great adventure parks. That includes the Danao Adventure Park. This is a top adventure destination in Cebu, with a lot of exciting activities, okay, like zip line, bungee jumping, rappelling. So You can also even try paramotoring, route climbing, and various extreme adventures. Then we also have the CHAP, or the Chocolate Hills Adventure Park. This is another way for you guys to enjoy the Chocolate Hills. You try their bike zip line, the surf zip line with Chocolate Hills on the backdrops. Apart from that, there are other exciting activities here like treetop rope challenges, wall climbings, all for adventure and fun stuff. And there's another one, Lobok Ecotourism Adventure Park, not as popular as Danau and Chap, but this adventure park in Lobok can also give you a nice view of Lobok River and the Chocolate Hills when you try their cable car and zip line. Now, Bohol is dotted with a number of heritage churches, historical churches. However, during the earthquake, the strong earthquake that hit Bohol, a lot of heritage churches have been destroyed. But little by little, nire-reconstruct at nire-renovate na itong mga churches na to. So, some of the most popular ones includes Baclayan Church. So this is the oldest church in all of Asia, actually. And it's part of the countryside visit in Bohol. So it's really impossible to proceed on the vein ba, on the heart of historical churches in Bohol if you will not going to visit Baclayan Church first. There's also a museum here with religious artifacts, and it's very much accessible to a lot of us. Then we have Lobok Church, okay, or the Church of San Pedro. It's the second oldest church naman in the province. So if you're looking for something like Sistine Chapel vibe rather, so this is it. It has excellent exteriors with like heavenly scene painted on its surroundings. And we have Taoist Church, or the Lady of the Assumption, a 16th century church, and also recognized by the National Historical Commission and as National Historical Landmark with a neoclassical exteriors that complements with the stunning interiors as well. Usually part of the Panglao tour ng Taoist Church. Next is Kalapi Church, no, which is a Gothic inspired. Kung picturesque lang din naman ang pag-uusapan dito ako, no, it has a very nice architectural design. Ang lakas maka-Europa ang dating. Then we have Bohol Bee Farm. Okay, of course, this is a bee farm where you can learn about bee production. You can taste the best tasting honey, and of course, there's the dining experience as well. Then probably the latest of the attractions in Bohol is the Mirror of you have heard about this Mirror of the World. Remember during our Calabarzon webinar, we have a similar attraction like this in Cavite. You remember that? Resort in Cavite. So, parang ganun din ang konsepto ng Mirror of the World. I was able to visit Mirror of the World, kaya lang phase 1 pa lang siya. So, just like that resort in Cavite, Mirror of the World presents as a replica of top destinations or top attractions in the world rather. So, dyan sa nasa screen mo ngayon, this is a night shot kasi. So, most recognizable dyan si Eiffel Tower, then there's this Statue of Liberty here. There's Statue of Liberty, then Mandaue Station, so mas itsura nito mas malapit-lapit sa Windows of the World sa Shanghai. So there's the Christ the Redeemer as well. Christ the Redeemer, then even have there's a day shot. Diba? Kung hindi pa tayo makalabas ng bansa para puntahan yung mga attractions. So, tingnan muna tayo. So, those are the top attractions for the province of. Let's move to our second province, Cebu. Okay, so that's Cebu. Now, as I have observed, with the most packages for Cebu being sold in the market, general yung package like Cebu package. Tapos ang focus is madalas sa Cebu City. So maganda din, it's also a common practice, however, not really much observed, particular for most of the new agents, to subdivide Cebu into into three rather. Now, Cebu is very large. Cebu is very expansive from north to south of Cebu. So better to divide it when selling Cebu so that your clients can also keep track which part of Cebu ang hindi ko pa napupuntahan. So for our discussion, I will divide the attractions into three. Okay, the north, okay, the city, and the south. Now, let me start with um, North Cebu. Um, North Cebu is predominantly coastline, sorry, beaches and island activities. And the most notable ones in North Cebu includes Malapascua Island, of course. Um, it's just a small island off the coast of the Bantayan. It's well known for the plethora of spectacular diving spots in Cebu with vibrant coral walls and large sea vertebrates. Okay, it's quite famous even for international tourists, especially among divers, because it's one of the only few places in the world where you can see treasure sharks every day. So like on a daily basis, there's the treasure sharks there, hammerhead sharks, blue ring octopus, and a lot of a very nice marine creatures. So it's also a very idyllic one for beach lovers who are looking for not so crowded areas. So that's Malapascua. Okay. Okay. We also have Bantayan Island in Cebu, in North Cebu pa din. It's also a small island that's off the coast, northern Cebu. This might look like a sleeping, a fishing village, but it also exudes with charm and beauty, just like the famous Boracay Island. Now, the best part with Bantayan Island is that it is not much commercialized compared to the crowded areas or the more crowded areas of Cebu. So if you are really looking for islandscape, a more relaxing one, then Bantayan is a good choice. And there, Bantayan. Okay, Camotes Island. Okay, off the coast, northern Cebu as well, which offers a multitude of outdoor activities for seekers. There are nice caves here for spelunking, and there's also a nice lake in here, Lake Danau, which the locals call as the Lovers Lake. If you're gonna look at the lake from above, it's just like number 8. They are also offering a sunset cruise and doon sa lake, so you can just marvel with the surroundings of the lake. It's actually the biggest in the Visayas. So those three are the top destinations in North Cebu. Okay. Let's go south first before tayo pumunta sa gitna. Now, this is a more popular one compared to North Cebu. Okay, mas marami din kasi top attractions dito, mas marami din mga magagawa. Of course, topping the list for South Cebu is Kawasan Falls. So probably, this is the most famous attraction in Badgan. Okay? This is a three-tiered cascade that features really distinct turquoise water. Some say, edited yung photo niyan, pero really, it's, di ba, ganun talaga yung kulay niya. Now, there are two ways actually for you to explore the waterfalls. You can do canyoneering, okay, and have a longer journey, or maybe just a short trek to the waterfalls. It's Kawasan Falls, then one wall, of course. This is a staple tourist spot in the province on the southwestern coast of Cebu. It is famous for the sardine run. That's just like what we're seeing in your screen right now. So swimming amidst thousands or millions of sardines in a crystal clear water. So if you're lucky enough, you can even come across sea turtles while you are snorkeling. Then of course we have there Oslo whale shark encounter. Okay, if you wish to have an encounter, of course, with the whale shark. Then we have Osmeña Peak. Okay, this is the highest mountain or peak in Cebu. Okay. You can get also a 360-degree views of the Cebu Island here. Okay, but of course, it will require a little of trekking and hiking. But once you're on top, it's really worth it. So those are the top attractions in South Cebu. But the more famous one is, of course, Metro Cebu. Now, when we talk about Metro Cebu, we're not referring only to Cebu City, but this includes Lapu-Lapu and Mandaue, the other surrounding parts of the urban areas. For Metro Cebu, of course, we have the Fort San Pedro, one of the known spots here as well. This is a former Spanish camp built during the 15th century. Just like Intramuros, it has a fortification of 8 feet thickness yung lapad ng walls niya. So this place can really give you a nice view of what Cebu is in It's just near the pier area of Cebu City. The other side is facing the sea, the other side is facing the plaza. the Cebu Heritage Monument. This is a representation or and illustration of the sculptures depicting the significant and symbolic events in the history of Cebu back from the time of Raha Kumabon and the beatification of Pedro Calungsod. Cebu Heritage. And of course, what's Cebu without Magellan Cross? This is a famous landmark. The Cebu Cross, close to the Santa Moon Church, symbol of Christianity, brought by, of course, Ferdinand Magellan on. So for most tourists, this is a spot that was not famous. Then, of course, we have a shrine for Lapu-Lapu there. In Lapu-Lapu City, of course, erected in honor of Lapu-Lapu, which is a local who defeated the Spanish soldiers led by the Portuguese explorer in the Battle of Lapu. Then, Temple of Leia. I assume most of us probably have been here, have been to Cebu, have been visited the sites already. Um, Temple of Leia is also called as the Taj Mahal of Cebu. Kanina sa Western Visayas, they have their own version of Taj Mahal as well, their ruins. So Temple of Leia is also just like that because um, it was also created or it was built for the love of someone. So this is a very nice architecture as well. Mostly part of Cebu hillside. It's really Instagram worthy area. Then we have the Taoist temple. This is an attractive Taoist temple and one of the most visited spots as well in Cebu. What you call this, in what they call the Beverly Hills. Okay. So you will just be needing a little extra effort going to the top. There's roughly 80 steps, okay, or 81 steps rather, that represents the 81 scriptures of Taoism. So tourists are very eager to climb up to the Taoist temple. Them for their fortune, that are written in fortune steps. Also, we have the Sirao Garden, an Instagram-worthy spot also in Cebu Hillside. They dub this as the Little Amsterdam with a picturesque flower garden. There's a colorful blooms in here and different now to get a hold of the rich history, heritage of Cebu, the place to be is, of course, kasi okay, there's a lot of artifacts here that relates to how Cebu started, how Cebu stayed during the Spanish times. And we have also San Diego Ancestral House. And this is another place that you may add up to your Cebu tour for historic spots. Also built during the Spanish time. It has treasured collections of the family, the San Diego family. Also contemporary ancient artworks, even furnitures and religious artworks. And there's the Jesuit house or the Museo de Parian, which they claim that this is the oldest house in the Philippines, in the whole of Philippines. Okay? Kasi meron daw may mga something na naka-inscribe daw na dates sa mga poste and walls ng Jesuits. However, meron pa rin nag-claim that this is even older than what is inscribed. And of course, Cebu Ocean Park. This is actually bigger than the Manila Ocean Park. So this is the first marine park in Visayas and Mindanao. Cebu Ocean Park. Then they also have their own amusement park in there, Anju World. This is the biggest theme park in southern Philippines. Actually. Then a very nice one. The tops look out. Okay. Located in Mount Busay, a few kilometers away from the city proper. It has a viewing deck with which can also give you a 360-degree view of the city. On clear skies, from tops lookout, you can even see Bohol. It's quite romantic here. Dalhin mo jowa mo tsaka mag-cook. Okay, yan. That's the view. Night view. Okay, Simala Shrine, okay, or the monastery of the Holy Eucharist, or the Simala Shrine. Okay, it's a religious complex that looks like a castle on the inside. It rose to popularity when the word spread about the miracle of the Virgin Mary statue that houses in there. Maraming devotees. It was as people go into the Simala Shrine, it was transformed into a more grand castle. Of course, we have the Basilica del San Niño, one of the best schools pa din in Cebu, one of the oldest churches as well in the Philippines, inspired by the mythical story of the Santo Niño, conquered by Spaniards, which was untouched by fire, even though the Spaniards were colonized in Cebu back then. So the location where the Santo Niño was found is actually where the Basilica de Santo Niño is used to be. That's the significance of it. And we also have the Cebu Metropolitan Cathedral, of course, yet another historic church in Cebu with a huge facade in the belfry. It was also destroyed back during World War II, but eventually it was restored and became one of the most visited spots in Cebu. Now, those looking for dried fish, take from one public market. So there are stalls here with colorful baskets, dried fish. Then ito, quite popular pyramid. This is just a restaurant in Cebu item. Pero puntahan siya ng mga mahilig mag-Instagram because it looks like smooth inspired restaurant in Cebu. Kahit nga hindi ka na kumain ng nakakayuro then those are the top spots in moving on further which is the province of Negros. Island is one of the best spots here in Negros. It's known as the best diving and snorkeling destination in the province. A marine sanctuary with a lot of species of fish and corals as well. And we also have this very prominent rock formation in there in Bohol. Then the famous Manhud Sandbar is another must visit in Negros Oriental. And this is a wide stretch of sandbar that completely disappears on high tide, but is also a very romantic place destination. Okay. The locals, they dub this as the Maldives of the Philippines. Ang dami ng mga local version of it. Okay, then there's also this nice experience or activity in Dawis, the dolphin and whale watching, or Bais rather. It's a highly recommended activity when you visit Negros Oriental. So meaning you're not just confined to Dumaguete because for most tourists, ang conception is that okay, very limited. We'll only visit Dumaguete, then we'll stay to Siquijor. But if you go out of Dumaguete, there's a lot more to see. Like this one. Then we have the Lake Balanan. It's also another great spot in Negor. It's tucked in the mountainous area of the province, also great for nature lovers where you can have a magnificent, there's a place here where you can have a magnificent view of the lake, mountain, and forest. You will surely capture Lake Balanan. Then there's this twin lakes, okay, the Lake Balinsasayaw and the other one is called Mandaue. Okay. Major attraction here as well in Necor. So both lake, these are crater lakes and they are separated by a narrow mountain range. So both lakes are part of the Balinsasayaw Twin Lakes Natural. In Mabinay Caves, which is shown in the video earlier also, it's also one of the most visited spots here in Negor. Famous, of course, for caving and spelunking. It's actually Mabinay is, or municipality of Mabinay is also called the cave capital or cave town of Negor. Then a famous waterfalls here is the Casaroro Falls. It's a majestic towering waterfalls in Negros Oriental. There's this around 300 steps, descending steps from the entrance that will bring you to the basin of the waterfalls. Then the Campanario in Dumaguete. So, back in the early days, 17th century, 18th century, ang daming Moro pirates coming from Mindanao traversing this small peaceful town of Dumaguete. They're searching for slaves around. So, ginawa itong kampanaryo ng Dumaguete para magsilbing lookout sa mga Moros na pupunta sa Then we have the Dumaguete Cathedral. Okay, if you have really a fascination of old churches, then you will be amazed also with the very nice facade of Dumaguete Cathedral, St. Catherine Alexandria Cathedral. It's the oldest stone church actually built in the island of Negros. Then the Rizal Boulevard, if you're tired of roaming around Dumaguete City, then you just have a rest at Rizal Boulevard, stroll around, catch the afternoon breeze. Of course, this was named after Jose Rizal, as Jose Rizal used to spend his time as well at the boulevard whenever he is in Dumaguete. So nandito yung famous signage. Kung nakikita niyo mga nagpupunta sa Dumaguete, yung signage na Dumaguete. Yan. So nandito siya sa Rizal Boulevard dun sa kanyang scenic. Then we have the Siliman Hall inside the Siliman University. Okay. Actually, the whole of Siliman University is already an attraction in its own. No? Siliman University is that's a private research university in Dumaguete, and it's the first American school established in the Philippines. That's why it's historical, and the architectural design of some of the buildings here are still patterned with American university. So nakaka-US ang vibe inside Siliman University. Then we have the Quezon Park. So This is another place to visit when you want to relish a quiet afternoon in Dumaguete. It's just a few minutes away from Rizal Boulevard, named after, of course, Mandaue, Quezon. So dito, may mga makikita pa rin nilang mga vintage na mga cannons, and also some nice gazebos. Good. So those are the top attractions of Negros Oriental. And down to our last province, the province of Siquijor.
It's more fun. It's more fun in the Philippines. It's more fun in the Philippines.
Okay, so those are the some spots in Siquijor. Okay, they have on the list we have Paliton Beach. Okay, this is at some point a secluded white sand beach in Siquijor. They call it their own version of Boracay. It's actually one of the best in the province. It's the most. They say this is the most visited beach in Europe. Then Kambuhagay Falls. Search Siquijor in Google. Ito yung lalabas na. So this is the most photographed site in Siquijor, the most visited site as well. So it's a multi-layered falls with, of course, very wide basin. So the main activity here, aside from swimming, is that swinging on a vine, no, as you approach the basin. So when we went here, they also asked me to try swinging to the vine. Naku, hindi na ako gusto sa bigat yung baka mapigtas yung bagi. Doon sa Siquijor pa matapos ang buhay. Char. Okay, anyway, then we have Lugnason Falls. This is just a small falls with a very nice cascade and limestone cliff that also plunges its base in the waterfalls. Then we have the Balete tree. This is quite old. Sabi nung tour guide namin na ano na daw to, 500 years old na tong Balete tree na to. Pero sabi nung ibang tricycle driver, 400 years lang siya. Basta old siya. No, it's the biggest of its kind in the island. Okay. Nakaka-creepy lang nung area, nung surrounding Balete tree. Tapos meron pa siyang spring. Okay, may ginawa silang spring dyan sa tabi. Then there's the Marel's Underwater World Museum. This is a very nice museum with a very expansive collection of seashells and marine life, all from the waters of the Philippines. Iba-ibang uh, shells. Also there are photos. Now, Canjeron Ranch. Okay, this is for most tourists. This is off the radar. Okay, but this is also a nice place to visit if you want to experience an exotic American Old West culture in the Philippines. Now, Canjeron Ranch is the place to be. So you can still see here original woodwork, wood artwork, and a lot of open big spaces with very dramatic architecture, soaring high beam cathedral ceiling. So this is a very American, no? Yung sa Old West kasi matataas talaga ang ceiling ng mga structures dito. And although they are artistically made, but it's still very nice. It has a very nice vibe. That's Canjeron Beach. Now, Assisi Church or the Siquijor Church is one of the few historic churches within the province. We also have Lazi Church or the San Isidro Labrador Parish. Okay, it's one of the Baroque churches of the Philippines. If ever it's not in the UNESCO site, but it's still a very nice the site. Nazi Church, right? So those are the major attractions in the province of Siquijor, along with, of course, kung nakita nyo sa video kanina, yung something ba ginagawa, like healing something, may binublow na water at the bottom, goes your body, around your body. A lot of potions, yon. Idagdag na natin yon sa mga top attractions ng Siquijor that must experience as well. Just for the culture's sake. Pero kung gusto niyo i-try din yung mga potion, why not, di ba? Malay nyo, ito talaga yung okay, that's Siquijor. Nevertheless, that it's our discussion this afternoon for Central Visayas. Okay, so this is a frequented destination. So I guess baka malamang most of the destinations. Alright, so with that, don't forget to sign up the attendance form and also our evaluation